Hey everybody, Jeff from Corrugated Cavalier here, coming to you with a review of this Antennae Dagger by Tod Cutler. He has a YouTube channel that's fantastic if you haven't seen it, but I'm sure you have. Lots of experimental archaeology type stuff. He has probably the best video I've seen of English longbow versus breastplate and lots of other stuff. So I ordered this as a humble beginning to my European blade collection. Also, because I have kind of an idea in my mind of having a kind of living history character at some point of sort of like a Polish low nobility warrior, probably from like 12th or 11th century is actually more what I'm shooting for, like early medieval period. And I was like, you know, this looks right up that alley to me. There's not really a lot of information on daggers out there, especially from Poland. They have a few finds. And actually, I decided that there's one that looks kind of similar from, once again, pronunciation not great, but Grochovalsk or something like that. And it's very similar. The Quillon up front is more standard, and it has like sort of a half antenna Quillon back here as well. I'll put up a picture of that. So I paid about 160 US dollars for this dagger. That includes the shipping from the UK and a sharpening service as well, which I'll talk about later in the video. But I'm going to just get into my overall impressions of this dagger. So first of all, overall I really like it. I think it's, for $160, I think it's excellent craftsmanship. Everything feels rock solid. The fittings are nice. The scabbard is nice, but I'll go into some more details. But yeah, it feels good in the hand. It's a nice big blade, a good, pretty much a mirror polish on that, I would say. You know, I can see myself in it. You can probably see the reflection there as well. Fits well in the hand, and yeah, everything seems nice and tight. So I'll get into some of the specific specs now. The overall length, and I'll be using metric because I use that for all of my reviews apparently. So the overall length is 36.3 centimeters. The blade length is 26.3 centimeters. The grip length, and that's just the wood part, I did not include the quillons in that, is 8.4 centimeters. The front quillon point to point, front quillon point to point is 7.5 centimeters. The rear quillon point to point is 7.7 centimeters. The blade width at the base is 3.4 centimeters. About a third up, it is 3 centimeters, and about 2/3 up, it's 2.4 centimeters. The point of valance, which I know is not terribly important for a dagger, but I did it anyways. It's about 4 centimeters from the front antenna quillon, right around that nice Todd's Workshop logo. And the weight was about 310 grams. The blade cross-section is what I would call a flattened diamond kind of cross-section. I know it's a little hard to get on camera, but I'll do my best. Flattened diamond cross-section, and you can see there that the space in the guard versus the blade is pretty tight. There's not a whole lot of wiggle room in there, so that's quite nice. Yeah, this blade it's nice and long, and flattened diamond cross section, like I said, has the Todd's Workshop logo stamped right there. It is not particularly sharp, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But overall, it's a nice blade, and I'll talk about the fittings a little bit now. I really like these quillons. They've got what I assume is brass inserts rolled in at the end there at the antenna. The wood is also nice and attractive, I think. There's the rear or bottom quillon. Yeah, once again, just nice attractive wood. No seam in the middle or anything, of course. And a peened construction, and it's not perfectly smoothed over, but I don't expect it to be, and gives it a little character anyways. There is, on a couple of these brass inserts, there's it's hard to get in focus, I think, but there's a little bit of space, but not a big deal between the brass and the steel. I mean, not a big deal at all. Yeah, so the fittings are really nice, I think. And I'll just put this down for a second. And here's a review of the sheath, I suppose. It's not a scabbard because there's no wood insert, but it's a nice stiff leather. You can see this design. It's kind of like an arrow fletching design almost. That I really like. It's simple, but it's beautiful, I think. And just very simple leather straps. You can do quite a few things with that. No muss, no fuss. And I really like how the pattern is different on each side of the leather. It's asymmetrical, so you've got this kind of zigzag thing here, and then these parallel lines here. It's got what I assume is brass shape. Simple but effective once again. So yeah, I really like this scabbard, and it does come in, or sheath, it does come in different color options as well. So, once again, that's what it looks like in the scabbard. Very nice. So, what I like about it, like I said, overall I'm very happy. I really like the blade geometry. It's nice and clean. It's got a midline, but it's not super pronounced. Or at least I don't consider it super pronounced, I guess. I really like the fittings. They're super sturdy. I don't feel like this is ever gonna... I haven't really abused it, but I don't feel like this is ever going to come loose or rattle by any means. And I really like the scabbard, the design on it, the make of it is very nice. The brass shape, the engraving in the leather, very nice. The simple leather straps, also very nice. There are like 3 things that I don't totally love about it, but they're really minor gripes. It's going to be hard to see, I think, but the midline does not actually meet up perfectly with where the point is ground. I'll see if I can... You can see how it's just not quite perfectly in line. It's close, but it's not quite perfect. This side's a little bit better, but actually still not totally perfect either. That's actually kind of my main complaint, because I think that probably could have been avoided, but it's also not a big deal at all. The point is still sharp, and it's not structurally important, I don't think. So not a huge deal, but yeah, that midline's not quite in line with the point, especially on this side. My other dislike is I did pay for the sharpening service, and it says on the website that it is sharpened to a reasonable sharpness, and it does say that final honing, if required, will be done by the customer. Fine, that's not a problem, but as you can see, it's not even going to attempt to cut paper. Like not even a hint of it. So I know that the UK has some weird laws about sharpening weapons and perhaps sending them, I'm not sure. And I don't know exactly what those laws are, so maybe this is the best they can do. If so, I understand that. If not, then it could certainly be sharper. Like, there's no danger. I would have to, I think, really press in hard. I'm not cutting myself whatsoever. There's barely a line on my hand from doing that. And unsharpened, they say, is a butter knife sharpness. This kind of seems like a butter knife sharpness to me, or maybe just above. So I'm kind of wondering if it's worth it to get the sharpening service. If this is the best that it will do, I'm just not sure if it's worth it. But not a huge deal. I am going to sharpen it myself, but it would have been nice if it was a little bit sharper as it came. The only other thing that I don't love, and it has nothing to do with the craftsmanship, is this was my mistake for ordering this. I actually love this dagger, but one thing that I didn't think about was when you're using the dagger, the rear quillon will get in the way if you're trying to switch from this kind of tennis racket or front grip to the ice pick or kind of like reverse grip. it gets in the way of that big time. You have to kind of like, seems a little bit dangerous. And I've practiced with it a little bit, and you can get used to it, but it's a little scary. It feels like it's going to come out of your hand. But once again, this is the dagger that I ordered, so that's nothing to do with the workmanship. And actually, I still really love it. Just like the design of it, it sits really well and firmly in the hand once you get it in either grip. So that's not a huge deal. Yeah, like I said, overall, I really love this and think it's totally worth the money. There were those minor couple of gripes. So if this is something that you're interested in, go on over to Tod Cutler's website, and I'll put it in the description below. And these daggers are fantastic quality, I think, for the money. So I'm very, very happy with this. Not displeased at all. So that's it for this review. Feel free to leave a comment below, like and subscribe, ask some questions, whatever you want to do, and feel free to share this around if you know anybody that's shopping for a dagger or anything else. Tod Cutler's website is great. Thank you once again for coming around, and be good to each other. Thanks, everybody.